What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at this brand new 2024 Jeep Wrangler. This one is a sport-ass finish in Earl, which is a really neat, kind of a grayish green color. And this one is about $45,500. So let's go ahead and manually pop this hood open, find that hood latch. So underneath the hood of this particular spec, this has the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged motor. It's got 270 horsepower with 295 pound-feet of torque paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And of course, this is a 4-wheel drive vehicle. So all manual controls for that, no latch underneath the footwell. But with it closed now, we can take a look at the styling. Of course, you can opt for a 4-door Wrangler. And then of course, this has removable doors and removable roof. But at front, you're gonna see just your basic headlights with chrome trim, the traditional 7 bars for that grille, which is pretty classic for any Jeep Wrangler. This one just gets all the plastic bumpers and plastic fender flares finished in plastic black, so kind of a more basic spec. You're gonna see fog lights down below, metal tow hooks. I like how you're gonna see turn signals on that as well. Cool looking vehicle. Of course, it hasn't changed since the beginning of time for the most part, but nonetheless, very iconic. We have a cool design around the hood, rubber bumpers, that way when you fold your windshield down, it has a safe place to actually rest. So pretty cool there. And you're gonna see those massive fender flares on the front from the side angle. Get some all-terrain tires wrapped in a 17-inch wheel. You can see the two-tone color on that wheel as well. And then behind the fender flare, get a nice little trim piece, your Jeep Wrangler logo. And then I really like how you don't have that metal antenna anymore, but we got our trail rated badge right there. You can see the plastic black for the mirrors along with those door handles, and then just some black trim surrounding the windows. Now for the roof panel, it's all manual, super easy to do. You can see these latches up on the top. All you gotta do is twist them basically, it'll unlock, and then you just lift them right up. So really easy to do that. As you can see, we have 2 separate pieces up here, and then the entire rear end will come off as one piece. So very easy to do by yourself. Side profile on the 2-door, it's extremely short and stubby, less than 100-inch wheelbase. So certainly very short and stubby, which does translate to phenomenal off-road capabilities. But you got that traditional design, very squared off in back, third brake light up above, got a full-size spare tire with your backup camera right in the center. Then you're gonna see the same plastic black for that rear bumper, tow hook as well, and then your taillights in back with the fuel cap on this left side. So definitely a classic look for an off-roader. And then in back, to go ahead and open things up, we can just pull this, swing the door outwards, and you're even gonna find some specifications listed all right here. And then in back, we're just gonna manually open up the glass and we can take a look at our storage area. So with the back seats up, we just have the cover for the roof, a few floor mats and accessories. With these out of the way, you can see it's a little bit of storage. I mean, you could fit a couple duffel bags or something back here. You can open this up and you do have extra hidden storage space, and then areas where you can put all of your hinges and bolts for removing your doors. So I like to see that. Now the seats back here, you can pull these headrests, get them out of the way, and then even pull this forwards to get it down flat, and then you can lift it as well and get it up in the air for maximizing your cargo area. So of course, this is a compact vehicle. It's not the biggest. If you want more space, you can opt for that 4-door. You can lift this down and just pull the strap, and that'll lock it back into place. You could also remove the back seats altogether. So if we go ahead and put these back here, so not bad, you know, it's got a decent amount of space. Manually close that, and close that as well. So now moving on, let's go right to the back seats. So we can manually pull the lever up front, slide the seat forward, and then do that. So back here, you're gonna see those 2 seats. Pretty simple as you'd expect. Climbing into it isn't the worst thing in the world. But back here, the only amenities you're gonna get, you do get climate vents, which is an awesome thing to see. Cup holders down below, and then you can open these up for your headrests. Now the seats themselves, they're kind of straight up, so it's not the most comfortable back seat in the world. However, at 5'11", with the driver's seat at my height, I can still fit back here. My legs aren't too crunched. You got some good headroom as well. So in a pinch, honestly, 2 adults wouldn't be the worst back here. Don't really have any more amenities. However, you do have pretty large windows, and you can easily let yourself out, which is a really good touch. Now, if I go ahead and climb out of the Wrangler, let's take a look at the driver's seat. So, pushing that all the way back, and just climbing inside. Now these are all manual seats. Get all those controls on that left side. and then roaring it to life. So you can see we also have dome lights, speakers up on that ceiling, and then that new screen. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, black leather, control panel on the left, some Bluetooth and audio, cruise control on the right. You have volume on the back side and track on the left side as well. And then taking a look at the gauge cluster, pretty nice and simple. You are going to see a lot of different things of information come up throughout the screen. Just scrolling down and then scrolling left and right into each of these menus, you're able to see quite a few things in the Wrangler. You can also see the analog speedometer and the tach, and then the G badge right in the center. I also really like this gold stitching. Now we have the stock on the right for windshield wipers, turn signal on the left, all of your headlight controls, one of your air vents, and a little bit of storage up on top. Now I do like this light color fabric material with the contrast stitching. Of course we have our grab handle, and then the new infotainment screen is basically what you're going to see in a lot of the new Chryslers. So I think it's a really nice screen to see now. Under dashboard, we can go into off-road pages, view some of the things on the truck. You can see the accessory gauges, pitch and roll as well. And exiting out of here, you can go in the center, take a look at that backup camera as well. So definitely a pretty cool setup. We have phone integration. All of your climate controls will come up. You can easily adjust things. And then we have your media as well as a home screen that is configurable. Up on top, we also have a few shortcuts. You toggle that, you can see your heated seats and steering wheel, and then a nice shortcut. Now we do have physical climate controls down below for your fan speed, on, off, steering wheel, seats, all the different zones and everything. You of course have volume, tuning, and then down below you can see our downhill assist, traction control, and engine start stop. So I like how if you do make an adjustment, it's gonna come up on the screen as well. Now we have our window controls down in the center, plugs over on this right side, then you can see a 12 volt and storage. Now for the four-wheel drive transfer case, this does have a manual shift select, which is really cool. And then we have our gear select on the far right side with manual shift modes, cup holders and storage down below, manual parking brake, and some nice black vinyl for the armrest. We have two different storage areas, as you can see, pretty roomy. And then a nice glove box on that far right side. One last look at the interior. I like the updates for 2024, especially with the new screen and the nice new fabric design. A really cool design on the seats, looks a lot better than previous years. So some nice subtle upgrades for this car. And of course that roof once again. With all that said, let's take this thing for a spin. All right, so we are setting off in the Wrangler, just getting out of a little bit of a gravel parking lot. So testing out the little 4-cylinder motor. This is kind of the smallest option available. You can get a 4-cylinder hybrid, or you can of course get the V6, or even opt for a 392 V8 motor. However, being the smallest vehicle, being the two-door, it actually doesn't feel sluggish or slow. Obviously this is no sports car, you know, it's nothing crazy impressive. However, it seems to get up to speed fine. I'm giving it a little bit of gas and I can get up to speed without like redlining, without really stressing the engine or anything. So it seems pretty decent to just get up to speed in. So then giving it some speed again, shifts around 4,000. Not bad, we're up to 50. So not a bad power plant. And when you are off-roading, you know, in that low RPM, low speed, of course, the low transfer case and 4-low, this really does shine. The small wheelbase, you can totally tell, just makes this thing so nimble, especially for parking, but of course for off-roading. Now, as far as normal driving on the road, it is a little noisy going 50 on a decent road. You can certainly hear the wind noise. You know, there's road noise in this. It's not a luxury vehicle. The roof does a decent job insulating it over the soft top, but again, this is a car that you can remove so many pieces of it, it's not that refined. You have a good view out the windshield though, good visibility. I like how you can see the entire hood and everything. Mirrors all do a good job, and being the two-door, the back of the car is right there, so it's really easy to see what's going on right behind this car. So good visibility overall. You will notice you kind of have to fight the steering wheel quite a bit while driving. You know, as I'm going on a straight road, the car does wander a little bit, so you kind of got to just keep yourself centered. I do like the forward pacing for the radar cruise. That does work really well. And this doesn't have any lane keeping assist, which is good because it really wouldn't do all too well since it's kind of a hard car to keep in a straight line. But normal driving, you know, it seems kind of nice. It kind of seems fun and cool. You know, these things, people love the Wranglers. They're just fun to be in. The seats are decently comfortable too. They feel like they might be slightly different than the previous years. They don't look different aside from the fabric. However, they're not as uncomfortable as I remember them being. So I feel decently comfortable in here. You get a decent amount of maneuverability to make it pretty comfortable overall. So not bad to just have fun and play around with. Of course, you can take the top off, the doors off, and just have an open feeling, which is something super unique to the Wrangler or of course a Bronco. But normal driving, not bad. The new screen is definitely nice to use. I really like the layout. It fits this dashboard perfectly. It's a lot easier and nicer than the previous one too. So I think they did a nice upgrade for 2024. It's just a simple, easy to use, off-road focused SUV. You're sacrificing some of this on-road capability and just on-road refinement for incredible off-roading, but it's not as bad as some people say, and it is a pretty cool experience.